Okay, hello everyone, my name is Donkey90 and welcome back to another live stream. We're back with the letter. Yeah, we're back with that again, I know. Sadly enough, there's no birthday stream today. And sadly enough, tomorrow and Sunday I'm also not able to stream because I'm not home. Again. So Monday you will see the Assassin's Creed again. And you will probably see me Thursday or I don't know what I don't know what I meant, but they will come, I promise. So yeah, let's get starting, shall we? Let me just check if everything is set. Yeah, everything to max. Otherwise I can't hear anything correctly. So yeah, continue. Okay, now, last time you left off right here. If remain in silence or defend myself. Why must he treat me this way? You know, I'm just gonna defend myself because I feel like women should be have also power in what they say.
Yes, I am very happy, Luke. Because for once in a very long time, we are doing what I want. I'm ecstatic. Understood? I'm ecstatic. Understood.
Okay, the audio works correctly. Sorry, I just had to check because last time the whole stream went completely bonkers with like and echoes. Like, I don't understand.
And this would be perfect if you stop acting like a child who needs their nappy changed.
So let me check the relationship. It actually increases Luke's a bit up. Maybe he got a little bit more excited by her ways that she talks.
We will be leaving after lunch for the Ermengarde mansion. You are going to park your rear in the car and keep mum. And you are going to behave during the tour.
Needless to say, Luke looks a bit shocked at my little outburst. He opens and closes his mouth a few times, struggling to reply, but... Oh, sorry. Before he crosses his arms to look like, well, a moping child.
Any more rules for this little excursion of yours, Your Highness?
No wine.
No wine? Unacceptable! I am already not allowed to the tasting, and you would deprive me of that simple pleasure?
If I see you take one sip today, I will put the stocks under lock and key. Do you understand me?
Don't forget the bottles he keeps in his dresser.
Whose side are you on?
How many times in one day can you ask that?
As many times as I need you, traitor!
The ride to the mansion's quiet, with Luke having to stare out the window the entire way, not paying attention to anything around him. Meanwhile, I am in conflict. I don't know if I should apologize for changing his plan like that. But by the time we arrive at the mansion, and I see this light up in the genie's interest, apologizing for the last thing on my mind. So we fast forward to the moment where the people by accident. Yeah. All of there with the Ermengarde mansion is certainly an interesting experience. The place has been renovated and restored by the owners to what they claim to be an acceptable standards. The mansion itself looks like something vivid. A fairy tale or a period piece. I did that voice a bit on purpose to give it more of a loyal and kind of like a Flemish or Italian voice. But I guess that's not a good way. I am so bad at this, I guess. It's tasteful decoration. And with a little bit of love and attention, I'm sure it can be a place Luke and I can call home. And a number of other prosperous buyers that have come from the powerful and wealth of Luxembourg certainly did not disappoint, marking this estate as a prime property. The Lees are among the groups who went with the Rose woman, and I see the other notable faces though. I did not really feel like mingling. Unfortunately for one of them, the Wrights are interested in buying. What's been bugging my mind, however, is that Isabelle. What is her problem? I still don't quite understand what is happening. One moment she is scrambling to give us the paperwork to finalize the sale. Then she panics over some sort of prank later or another.
Dear me, is Isabelle alright?
It's apparent with the way she shakes and by the pallor of her skin, something has really shaken her up.
Isabella, do you need me to call that ambulance?
I am worried, but it will be the best if she is attended to be someone more familiar to her, like her partner. But even then, the girl refuses Rose's offer. Drink and looks just about ready to make a run for it. I'm happy to see Rose a little bit back, because, you know, after she died horribly by the curse.
No, I'm just feeling a bit out of it. Excuse me, I'll be back. I just need to catch my breath.
And she does it so, just as I predicted, and her partner follows like a concerned mother. There's an awkward air among us as we were left in the wake of whatever that was. The other mumblers and gossiped with each other, speaking of the poor death. The tales to whoever was not lost to the act. The first witness. It doesn't take too long for the woman Rose to return and pull us aside into the study. What I assume is damage control. Rose invited Marianne in too, hoping to apologize to her as well. But the woman refused, saying she is not one of her clients anyway. That leaves myself, Rose, and Luke. The last all too eager to make themselves comfortable in the study he's no doubt already claimed as his own.
I can't apologize enough about what just happened. Please forgive Isabella. She's been under a lot of pressure lately. She's young, and all those rumors about this being haunted just got to her head. And it must be this terrible heat, too.
Are you sure it is wise to just let her go like that? Where is the poor dear? She might get hurt.
She's more likely to hurt somebody else, given what just happened.
I told her to sit down and take a break. Already rang someone to pick her up, too.
That might be for the best, dear. But please, we're here to talk about the mansion, yes? Why, I absolutely adore it. Don't you, Luke? Some of the rooms will certainly have to be repurposed. We want to change the appliances and have Marianne lead on the decor, but the whole thing is just lovely.
I guess. It's certainly a lot roomier than our penthouse.
Exactly. Lots of space for guests, parties, a lot of room for little ones to run around too.
Let's not discuss that right now, Buttercup. Anyway, I do think it would be a shame to let this mansion slip past us.
But you haven't even finished touring the house.
Well, we like what we've seen.
I'm making her job easier for her, am I not? No need to lose or the longer price negotiation. We could just sign a contract to close the deal. Really, you would think the woman would be more happy about the easy sale. I know how these estate agents work, how long they had to wait and how much they had to spend even just for a single sale. My, she should be jumping from joy by now. I'm sure the commission on this mansion is nothing to sneeze at, even if she has to split it with the Isabelle girl.
Do you think we could have horses here?
Yes, those do sound nice, love. Anyway, if anyone else is interested in buying this property, I assure you that I'm able and willing to give a better offer.
A vineyard would be nice. Or maybe,
And we do reward our people quite generously, Rose. So, if I were you, I would start on that paperwork.
Helicopter pad.
I pause. There's a small amount of complete silence where Rose and I just stare incredully at Luke. It is unspoken understanding, a rule between the two of us that we have to put on an act. For social standing, where images matters, it's also important to avoid making enemies. To follow these rules is an easy feat for me. For youth, I have been the well-trained social butterfly, gracious and grateful. Luke on the other hand...
Oh, wait, what, Luke? No, what? Whatever would we need a helipad for?
Well, he likes to play fool sometimes, even if he is anything but. As he throws me a worrying smile, I shake my head and beckon Rose over. This is to be our home, and there is nothing she or anyone else can do to change my mind. This is a place that speaks of power and importance, but that at the same time of safety of comfort. Perhaps we can even have our family here. There is definitely no better gift than this to our special day. Why everything here is absolutely wonderful. I'll expect for that ugly painting in the study. You're goddamn right in your mind. It looks like a bad fake of Edward Munn painting.
Here's the deal. I'm willing to pay 10% higher than your listing price. If anyone tries to outbid us, just add another 5%. I doubt anyone can, of course. Or, you know what? Just add 15% to the listing price, and we can sign all the paperwork now.
I guess, if that's what you want. That won't be any trouble. I don't have all the papers now. Didn't think this would be a quick sell. I'll have copies sent to you so you can look over them. And if you'd still like to finish the rest of the tour with Isabella's group, you're more than welcome to.
No, I think we're good here. We'd appreciate a private tour of the place a lot more, I think.
All right. Should I let Marianne in, then?
Marianne? All right, she has been waiting outside the study this whole time, isn't she? I need to have a little chat with her to move this little mansion project forward.
Please do.
There's looking apprehensively when the other woman enters the study. Yet, like a professional, I see moments when she steels herself and masks her worry. Admirable.
We have this project then?
Of course. Will you be needing anything from us?
Having the floor plans would be a great start, just so that I can look at them beforehand. And if you could tell me when you're available for a meeting so that I can include it in my calendar?
Oh, is a meeting really all that necessary, Marianne? I guess we can send Johans to help you out. You two can start by getting rid of this ugly painting.
A hush falls upon the room in my request.
What painting?
And Allah and behold, the painting is gone. In its place, a mirror stands with leaving me at a look at my own confusing expression.
Odd. Well, no matter. Back to the topic at hand. Marianne, dear, we are simply far too busy to meet up.
I think quite free up my schedules a lot better for the relationship between Marianne and of course Hannah, so that it's a better idea. Questioning the need of meeting is kind of very rude and unprofessional for starters.
But I guess we can free up a day to meet with you. I don't really need another maudlin Monday reading about Maury anyway. The book club can function without me for one day. What time shall we be seeing each other? How does lunch sound?
Besides, my house has a higher priority over book club. Why we can hold the next meeting in this place. Surely the beauty and graces of it will all inspire the lovely debating about whether modern-day writers could match up with the classics. I might as well clear up the rest of my week to handle whatever affairs by the manager requires me. Any social activities can be put off until the Ermengarden, or rather, the Wright's Mansion great debut. I have my fill of great parties and gatherings, especially when I organize them myself.
That sounds good. Although, with a project of this scope, we might need most of the day to tackle your concerns. A more thorough inspection of the place is also preferable.
Breakfast then! It's a date.
It's really not.
Alright, Monday, 10 o'clock sharp.
See, that increases, that's good.
We'll see you then.
Actually, Mary Jane suggested that we meet at 9, but who is even awake to that unholy hour? I was lucky enough to wake up this morning before Luke went all the way to Carvendiff. We say our goodbyes, shakes hands, and make it clear without outright saying it that we now own this house. By the time we left the mansion grounds, sunset is almost upon us.
So, you really want to buy this place then? That's a bit of a big impulse buy, even coming from you. Not that I'm complaining.
I feel electionating when I hear those words from him. It's not every day one is able to please someone like Luke. He gives away a false flattering to swoo those starving for his attention and approval. But in the privacy of the closed doors, he would often express his grievances. He neither censored himself in front of me, nor spared me for his criticism.
You have been saying the penthouse was getting a bit too small for you. Happy anniversary!
Oh, that time of the year already?
He forgot about it last year too. I understand that he's a busy man, but...
Is that why you want to buy it?
Yes. You don't like it?
I do. But I remember you used to talk about how you wanted to live next to the beach.
Buten Bacon. I remember the sea, water that stretched on for miles and miles as far as the eye can see. As a kid, I loved our beach trips, swimming all day as much as I could. I was a well-behaved child. The only time I was ever truly difficult was when I refused to get out of the water, even when my fingers had gone all wrinkly. And even when I managed to pull them out of the water, there was always sandcastles. The day before Mary, I told Luke that I wanted a house on the beach and a dog. And a kid or two. None of those came true 7 years later.
That was a childish dream. Living next to the beach is so impractical if you really think about it.
I don't know. It's not a bad thought to see you in a bathing suit every day.
Maybe another time, love. We still have forever, don't we?
He says nothing, only grabbing my hand and holding it tight, as we spend the rest of the ride home silent. I miss the sea. Sick and hovering over the loo at 3 in the morning. The picture I painted right now is hardly glamorous. A horrible fishy taste is left in my mouth as I throw up what I had for dinner, and I hated the arsenic stench that filled into the lavatory. The burning sensation at the back of my throat is of no help. Howsoever, I can feel another wave of nausea coming up on when the door opens.
Hannah, what are you doing so early out of bed?
I'm fine, love. I must have just eaten something bad.
That's all I managed to say before vomiting again into a park-look throne. Lovely.
Just go back to bed, Luke. I'm going to clean up here.
I refuse to stay to look at him. I don't want to see him like this. The last time I have been horribly morning routine into a bath toilet was during my college years, being alive at a party. Thoughtless and shameless, I had thrown away months of feverless marines and pointless hookups. I didn't even retain any of the connections I had made from that time. Sure, they still don't know of me, and I still know of them, and we still do business from time to time, but I've lost touch with anyone who I didn't see on my daily basis. I hardly have any of the friends I had when I was Hannah Evans' teacher, fellow university student, drinking buddies, and old conquest like Jack.
No, don't touch me, sweetie. It's disgusting. I'm disgusting.
Luke sits next to me on the toilet floor to hold my hair, even as I cough up more fish. He whips the vomit from the corner of my mouth and just stares. Are there like multiple paths? Oh, there are. Oh, there's a 50-50 chance that it will change. Interesting. So there's a chance that something will happen, something will not happen. Interesting. And it also seems that there's only one ending this time around.
Do I need to fire someone? I don't feel sick.
Just feeling a bit under the weather, dear. It's been unbearably hot as of late, hasn't it? I do wish it would rain.
Are you sure it wasn't those sweets? I told you not to eat those sweets.
Maybe. Well, don't laugh.
Well, I can't help if you make that sort of face.
He sort of chuckled, and as soon enough, he's in a fit of laughter. This scene happened next to the low filled with sick, just making the whole thing bizarre, and I nearly started to giggle as well. I started stiffing at it as I smacked him on the shoulder.
I'm not making a face, Luke. Stop laughing. Shut up.
And he wouldn't not stop. I let myself go, laugh or bubble from my own throat, and forgot whenever I feel plagued him. We are just husband and wife, laughing together, a funny face, the little things in life. I let myself go because I know the one moment I will not last forever. But if I just know the terrible things that are coming from us, I would have wished with everything I have, then the other that laughter stains.
Hiya! Come on now!
Place is bustling with movers, carrying furniture here and there, along with several trucks of personal belongings taken from our penthouse. Luke watches them like a hawk, making sure nothing is handled carelessly or gets stolen.
Careful now! I know your pictures are framed by cheap plastic, but those are framed by African Blackwood and are one-of-a-kind commissioned paintings. Each one is easily worth a lifetime of what you lot make.
Luke, do the dishwashers go into the kitchen or the butler's pantry?
Pantry, Buttercup. Careful, that's Emma No, you there, put that down. You do not manhandle a Napoleon Abueva.
Again, I know. Okay, I could see the expression and I have to send the foreman an apology glance. Even Jonathan rolls his eyes and goes by. Considering Luke is always like this during a project, John and I have given used to it. Poor Mary Jane, on the other hand, looks like she's dreaded at seeing the gigantic mess before quickly going back to work. Everything just has to be perfect, exactly the way he wants it. One little thing out of the place, one little thing that didn't fit the image he clearly constructed in his head, and Luke gets bended out of the shape.
Sweetie, why don't we go and sort your suits upstairs? Let your Hans and Marianne and the foreman deal with the rest of the work.
We have this, Mrs. Wright.
Yes, please do go before a blood vessel bursts. Bloodstains are so troublesome to clean.
Taking him by the hand, I lead him upstairs to our bedroom. This place has been arranged first so that we can get some rest, no matter what state the rest of the mansion is in. I am definitely glad I can just lay down on the soft, comfy bed after what has been a busy morning. Watching Luke act like his life depends on getting this move done is feeling all on its way. And to think I have the whole day of his ahead of me. I feel the bed dip beside me and Luke sits down with a sigh.
Well, I can't wait for this to be over.
I don't know. It's fun seeing you all fired up. Here at home and not at work, you know.
You know I can't always be home, Hannah. I have a company to run, unless you've forgotten.
I haven't forgotten. You're the one who insists on being there to make sure each and every little thing is under control. I just really miss you sometimes, and I wish you were at home more often. Why, if you're not careful, I might go a bit loopy and I'll start bringing cats home. And soon enough, one day you'll find yourself going home to a farm just filled with felines that follow you everywhere.
Oh, don't bluff. The things would shred up your precious furniture. Besides, you don't even like cats.
True, true. Dogs are infinitely superior, of course.
But what about the wet dog smell? The mess? I'm not cleaning up after a mutt, no matter how cute. If you think about it, a cat would be better.
We laugh. It's not always that we can just lay down and talk about those sort of things. To joke around, if I was a teenager again, with very little problem in the way of responsibility and rules. To hear genuinely honest, to goodness laughter is a rarity. This is the second time as of late, and I can only see it as a sign of a good thing to come.
All good points. I guess we could just have kids. That is, if you prefer dealing with soiled nappies and sick as opposed to dead birds, mice, and litter boxes. I've already told Marianne about turning the second bedroom into a children's room.
I guess sometimes I don't know what I'm crossing a line. Didn't say that I'm good comedy, I didn't.
Not this again.
What? I wasn't being serious.
It's not something you take the piss out of. Having a kid is a big responsibility, Hannah. We've talked about this, haven't we? I'm not ready to be a parent. I'd probably end up killing the little brat by the week's end.
Ooh, this is, I think, a question. I feel like this is going to be a hard one because it's you will be a great father. It gives him motivation, but again, he doesn't seem. But you know, apologizing for bringing it up. Yeah, I don't know personally what to choose. It's a hard decision. I personally would pick. You would be a great father. I'm gonna pick that because that's so good.
Girlie likes you well enough.
The mention of our little goddaughter place as a conflict looks at on his face. Oh, we went up, nice. Sometimes it's cute when he didn't, even if he has a soft spot for those little girls. But then sometimes it's sad to make me wonder what happened to make him think so poorly of himself in this regards.
Yes, well, it's Kylie. The tyke likes everybody and, on the off chance she doesn't, likes them well enough as long as they buy her sweets. And sure, that kid is great, but if I get tired of her, I can ship her back to her father at the end of the day. Having kids of our own will be a whole different monster entirely.
I have never heard him talk about his father in anything but a business context. I recall Damian Wright kept hearing about him from my own father even before I met Luke. The business world praises him for running a tight ship until one mistake led to great loss from an enterprise. It was then that news of Luke Wright, proprietor's son, the successor to the old man, started to show up and aided in its recovery and growth until the great precedence. I'm getting a bit off track. Regardless, I have never heard him talk about his father like one would talk about family.
I think you'll be a great father.
There's a smile no matter how half-hearted it may be. I do really think that. He may not be good, honest man. A part of me knows that, though I try to silence it. But I know Luke well enough that he would be a better father than either Damon Wright or Henry Evans. I love my father, but I never had the time.
If it is any consolation, I think you'd be a decent mother.
On the other hand, I've never heard of his mother. Silence settled, both comfortable and uncomfortable. There's a familiarity in each other's company, and despite the awkwardness that transcends the fence and mass down without anyone looking, you're both together alone in quietness. The crash from downstairs startled us both out of the reverie. Luke lets out a heavy sigh before coming up on his feet and straight with his jacket.
I'll have to attend to that then.
Be good, darling. And watch out for your blood pressure.
He gives me a kiss on the cheek before leaving. I lay down on there in the dazing, alone as per usual. I really should be used to it by now. I can feel the minute tick by with it. Just laying there, feeling miserably full of self-pity. I've rolled over, lying on my stomach to the point of my face where the hell. There's a knock on the door. Hurling at them to go away doesn't make as the voice comes from the other side.
Madam, the photographer from Luxury Living is here.
Wait, is that today? Oh yes. People has caught wind of the new mansion the very moment we left the open house. Luke has boasted a quite accordance of property in no time and allowed the photo shoot for an interior design magazine to be scheduled today. Well, there are compliments, and it took longer than it usually does for us.
In a minute, Hansi.
Johannes, if you could at least make it through the end.
Tell them I'll be right down, Hansi.
The mansion ground has been one of the things to be fixed up aside from the bedroom. Although it's still work in progress, I had a promising start, and I can already see the flower patches. Look, flower the daffodils stands out easily. And moving through the looks has been hard on them. Clearly didn't see the landscaper on the way. I don't know why it happened that he continued to stop for out of nowhere, but I guess the man looks like he was ready to faint, and Luke seems ready to kill him by the end of their discussion. There's a garden that I see him standing near the flowers in quiet admiration. Zachary! Yeah, my boy. It's my boy Zachary. Woo! Woo, 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 woo. He's hard to miss, the hulk of a man that clearly did not belong on the big backpack in the suitcase. He has with him, making him look much larger. It's peculiar size seeing someone who looks like he doesn't handling little delightful things with such care. He looks over from the garden and does a double takes before a friendly face replaces his superior spliss.
Miss Wright, yeah? Hi, Zachary Steele here from Luxury Living, ma'am. Hope you weren't waiting too long. But it looks like you're still moving in, huh? Thought for a second there my calendar was wrong and I came here too early.
You look familiar. Have we met?
I have a very wide social circle to everyone, looking familiar at one point or another, but one would think I remember someone who standed out like him. The struggle recalls must have been evident on my face as he quickly and kindly answered my question.
Oh, I was with Isabella, your estate agent, when she had the house blessed.
yes, that's right. Small world, isn't it?
Should have known you were Miss Wright.
The one and only. Welcome, welcome to Maison de Wright. And yes, we've been in the process of moving in as we were delayed, but it won't be a problem. They're just adding a few things here and there, and you should still be able to do your work. Where's the rest of your crew then, Mr. Steele?
Zach is fine, please. Mr. Steele makes me feel like I'm a mascot for a cleaning product. Anyway, I'll be your one-man crew for today. Don't worry, been doing this gig for a while now.
You must be quite the veteran to handle this on your own. We've had a full crew coming into our penthouse the last time we were covered in your magazine.
Veteran? Oh, your words are too kind, Miss Wright.
Hannah, if I get to call you Zach, you have my permission to call me Hannah.
Alrighty then. Anyway, I'm no veteran, but I know my camera well enough to make sure this is a good shoot. You can trust me on that, Miss Wright. Hannah.
Zachary proved it quickly enough that I can, in fact, trust him. His skills with the camera and experience in this industry, at the very least. He is a kind of curious, listening and following as I lead him around the house. A really nice fellow, and he treated our household staff well whenever we crossed paths with him. And I answered his questions to the best of my ability, and he is patient enough to answer mine whenever he's curious enough. For one, I asked what the bag is for. They are quite the magical toolkits. From inside, he had produced several items to insulate the interior with: bowl of fruits, lemons, tray with people, milk, stacks of cookbooks, cutting boards and glasses canister filled with colorful nuts and grains, as brought in the kitchen setting. For the bathroom, there are white towels, seashells, and decorative soaps. There are only other things as well, too numberless to count, all in the large backpack and suitcase.
Tricks of the trade. Softens up a room, makes a place feel more homey, and fills it up with texture. But you guys probably have better stuff I can use for this.
No lights. Don't tell me all of these are just props.
Well, I've got my tripod here. For things like these, natural light is best. I'll just have to set the shutter speed to a real slow setting, and as long as nobody steps into the shot, it'll look great.
Oh, it better.
We go through the room one at a time, although we first tackle the ones that the movies have no business in anymore. The ballroom needs a little proclamation with the glam design, although there are some troubles at first with the wide open space and the picture being blacklit. The kitchen at Zachary props came in handy, considering how Jonathan kept the place so neat and sterile one can practically eat off the floor. We carry on touring the house and taking pictures where we can with the expectation for the room that yet to gain any purpose or design. Too bad I can't take a sneak peek at his photo yet. Funnily enough, he uses a traditional camera. I didn't even know film still existed. But the way he speaks, however, I can see that he knows enough about his craft that I'm not too worried about butchering photographs. I imagine a photograph must be catalytic for him, judging by how at ease he looks with taking pictures. There are small snippets of conversation in between the clicks of the camera. He even goes far as to tell about their terminology like shutter speed and appearance when I ask about the technical aspects. I can't quite see the pictures as it made, much like when I watch artists paint on their canvas, but just watching someone vastly practice their craft such as this is exciting in its own way. Going through many rooms has been quite an exercise for both of us. Despite that, he has been so nice I cannot find myself putting my best smile. But as he was taking pictures of the foyer, there would everything come to a standard for a moment. Just a moment. When I had not been paying attention, I wouldn't have noticed. It's merely a split second when Zachary's rhythm is put to the halt. Ooh. His finger doesn't move to release the shutter. Yet, he also doesn't pull the camera away from his gaze, gazing still firmly fixed through the viewfinder. His hand shakes as there is a light sheen of sweat on his forehead.
Zachary?
No response.
Zach? Is something the matter?
Blowing his camera, he blinks and stares at something behind me before shaking his head. Turning around, though, I see nothing that could have gotten this attention.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong. I just remembered something, that's all. Let's get back to the pictures. Can you move a bit more to the left, yeah?
I struggle to respond this time. There's a sudden weight on my back and innermost tightness around my throat. Everything stops, and everything starts again as I manage to choke out.
If you're sure.
I don't know what just happened. It was probably just a dizzy spell. I'm fine. He said he's fine. We continue at the same pace as before, although there is a unspoken agreement that we not talk about what happens.
So, is this a full-time job for you then?
Nah, I just freelance mostly, for magazines, newspapers, and events. So you can't really call it a full-time job. It's fun and it puts food on the table, but it's not what I really want to do. At least, not all the time.
What is it that you want to do then?
Maybe I've been quite out of the line, sticking my nose in other people's business, but I can't help but ask. I regret doing so, as I see his shoulders slump, as an easygoing air has faded away. He looks torn over whenever he wants to talk about it or not.
Films. Documentaries mostly. But cinematography is a lot more difficult than photography, right? I was working on this thing, actually.
What thing?
Well, it wasn't really a big thing.
People didn't like Blue Fonzie very much.
People don't like a film about colors. I suppose they would have liked Blue Bibby a lot more.
Very funny.
So, Grand Director, do you want to tell me what Blue Fonzie is all about?
He hesitates, but when I refuse to budge on the matter, he gives it a spill at it out. Blue Fonzie, la plus some dus near blitzkens. I cannot speak French. God damn it. Damn it. Blue Fonzie, la plus some dis nurs blistkan. This is cringe. This is literal cringe what I just did. God damn it. If you're gonna start memeing on me for that, god damn it. I think alone this is the highlights. Just me trying to do bla funits elhul la plus samba this nur blitz can't. What the fuck? Oh, it's dark blue, the darkest out of the black British. God damn it. He speaks with passion of one who has gone through the very matter he concerns with. He has taken confidence, knowledge, and experience in its speeds. Why I wouldn't told him that amazing speaker, if only I wasn't so engrossed listening. Prejudged and discriminated in school and at the workplace. Lesser chance for opportunities, the higher chance of being treated like a criminal. He spoke of the blacks and the people of color in general still being treated like second-class citizens. All because of color of their skin. It's all just possibly riveting and sad. It comes to the point when he soon loses steam. He looks aghast, realizing he just done.
Sorry, I just got so carried away and...
It's fine. It is really so fascinating to watch people talk about their passion after all. You should see how your eyes light up when you speak so fiercely. You do have very beautiful eyes.
Uh-huh. Thanks, I guess.
I guess. I want to say that I understand where he's coming from, but I really don't, do I? I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, and I'm living a charming life. It hasn't been perfect, but the difficulties I've been through pales in comparison to what I experience on a daily basis. I certainly don't know how I would have fared were it any different. Would I still have met Luke, and would I still have loved him if I was any less?
What was your home like? These things you talk about, it sounds like you've... Well, I don't mean to pry, I mean.
Live with my older sister and my grandparents. We had a shop selling all sorts of things below our flat. Well, I was one of the few non-white, non-British students in class. I didn't get pushed around or anything straight up. Even then, I was one of the biggest kids around. But a pencil and notebook would go missing, you know?
Oh, that I know. Children can be so cruel at times. Of course, it may be a slight different story when you have a personal guard and the stolen item is not a pencil but expensive heirloom.
So what about you? How you liking your new house? It's pretty impressive.
It's nice, I suppose.
You suppose? Not big enough?
What? No, oh, don't be a bully. It's just that...
I understand if you don't want to talk about it.
There's a little girl, all dolling up and treating like a fragile particle, with a nursemaid waiting for me to meet hand on foot. All the material possession anyone could ever want, I could ask for on a whim, and it would be handed to me like that. But I barely saw my parents, just a goodbye kiss in the morning, before they went off to who knows where they were needed to next. I saw them more often on the telly or in the papers than I ever did in person.
I remember my old house. It was a lot like this one. Big walls and big halls, but nobody in it. Not really. It makes you think how alone you are.
A pensive mood overcomes us. There's a moment where neither of us are sure how to go on from there. Things have gotten a bit too personal, yet isn't walling uncomfortable like as I've been friends before.
Well, that's normal, ain't it? You just moved here. You'll make home out of it yet.
He certainly makes it easy to believe that. My childhood house is indeed a lot like this one. Just as large and extravagant, and just as empty. I hope
So, Monsieur le Photographe, you've covered the one and only Ermengarde Mansion. What's next on the agenda?
The interview?
Boring. It's an interior design and housing magazine.
And they want to know what Miss Wright has to say about her interior design and house.
Honor Wright thinks she bought a magnificent house that she can certainly brag about. Blah, blah. Boring. You know what they should print more of? I watched an interesting documentary the other day. Bleu Foncé, The Darkest Hours of the Black British. I recommend you watch it. Those are the things that people should know about. What do they care if I use a purple or green bowl of fruit in my kitchen?
People, right?
Oui. People are shite.
Shite. Shite.
What do you think? Do I look good with this angle?
I strike a pose while he's being busy looking away from a moment, probably not expecting me to just to go and say such a class in words. But he recovers quickly, and after snapping a few shots, he writes,
Yeah, vous êtes belle. You want copies of these ones?
Yes, please. So, the big boy knows French.
Oui, oui, I barely speak French, you know. Oui, oui. I am so... Oui, oui, I say. again.
You must have wooed a few ladies. Unless you're into gents. Either way, French is, after all, the language of romance.
Oh, I don't know about quoting fancy poetry, but I've made lunch for a girl before, and they did like that fancy French cuisine.
Can you cook your best?
I can cook just about anything as long as I know the recipe.
C'est magnifique.
C'est magnifique, yo. I barely speak French, so I suck. It has been too long since I've made a nice and proper chat with a good friend. No, Lee is certainly not a good friend. And although we have just met, Zachary is just sort of who can probably befriend anyone. He's just a comfortable person to be around with. A bit too. Ooh, love is in the air. The photo shoot went by a breeze, and somewhere along the way, as we talk and laugh, I found myself getting a bit too close without realizing. He gives me a strange look until I back off, and he will go to asking questions after I agreed to a little interview. And it's just odd. Well, no, me being friendly isn't that odd. That is how I am. Zachary is the one that's being odd. Why would anyone welcome extra attention I give to them? He, on the other hand, looks almost frustrating about it. He should be used to different personalities by now, having to deal with various people when he works. And if not, he needs to start. Perhaps nobody has shown him attention of this kind, but he's a big boy. He should be able to handle me. All it is a friendly touch here, a pretty smile there, and a gentle swing on the hips as I move around. Zachary grew and grew more red every time he noticed, and I'm beginning to mean as I find enjoyment in seeing him unravel. Perhaps this went on during the interview and beyond that. Nothing wrong with what I'm doing, right? Zachary and I just having a playful, friendly chat while enjoying the outside view. At least that's how I see it.
I'm sorry, but I'm really getting distracted. Could you maybe stop doing that?
Stop. I'm not sure if I want to, though. I feel like teasing him is a bit more unprofessional, not nice to him. He doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve to be annoyed and distracted. He deserved to be, not distracted and teased. Teasing a bit, but he doesn't allow, he deserves better. He doesn't deserve to be distracted in some sort.
I'll stop if it makes you uncomfortable, sweetie.
Sorry.
No, I should be the one apologizing. Why, you're a shy one, aren't you, big guy?
It's not that, but...
He goes to my ring on my finger and lets the fact of matter hang heavily between us. Being told implicitly that I am too forward is not a common occurrence. I think I'm more stunning at the fact that he points out rather than while being rejected. Not that anything is going to happen between us in the first place. It was just going to be some harmless flirting, right?
So, you've never had a girlfriend?
No.
There's no...
No boyfriend either. Just in case you were gonna ask for that one next.
He is brave to just say that. No boyfriends, if you want to just know that.
And you haven't even had your first kiss?
Not a one, ma'am.
Do you want to have your first kiss today?
I can't help it. I really, really can't, and I'm gonna get going to apologize lots later. Surely, by the catty smile on my face, it's obvious that I'm just pulling his legs. The laugh I failed to contain certainly gave it away, if it still isn't obvious. But still, he lights up in embarrassment, stammering and sputtering objections.
You're married, and this will be extremely unprofessional.
I never said I would kiss you, silly. Oh, Johans!
No, what? No. Don't call your butler. She's Hannah.
That would be for the better. I don't think his husband would appreciate it if I made him kiss another man. I do not think he can hear us from here either. But it is hard to think you're not taken, Zachary. Why, whoever becomes your girlfriend will be so lucky to have you. You can cook and take wonderful photographs, wonderful meals and wonderful memories.
I can play guitar too.
You can? Oh my! Wonderful serenades as well then. Perhaps I can find a young lady who deserves a fine, strapping young gentleman like yourself.
Let's not get carried away.
Besides, I gotta be going. It's getting late and I got someplace else to be.
A shame. I will be expecting you again soon, I hope. For a copy of my photographs, yes?
Of course. I'll even deliver them personally. Just, don't try to make me kiss your butler when I drop by.
As fate would have it, the very moment the word leaves his mouth, Jonathan comes out of the house. And judging by his slight lace of his brows, he heard only the tail end of the sentence.
There shall be no kissing of any butlers under this roof,
Duncan.
But you are not under a roof, are you, Hansi?
To my amuse, he taking a step back, safely placing him with a threshold of foyer and under a roof the house. And just as ever, he's quickly returned to his standard reply.
I am now. As I was saying, madam, it's about time for supper. Will I be needing to set an extra place at the table?
Oh, what? No, I was just leaving, actually. So, you have a good night, Hannah. And you too.
Nonsense on his face as we say our goodbyes is the sweetest head I've ever seen. I linger looking at him with his reliant ties by his black backpack, same secure backside by the front and suitcase dogs on the back. I watched as he wound down a touch back to the possibility until he is nothing more than a limbs. I cannot help but help the small face don't sex and the dying of all so much confusion. It's dark. For a moment I felt like it's work. It's not hard. But there's clearly not the case every other room right their lights. Finally, lights which normally take past side unfamiliar with the room. To make matter worse, dark man, the room and difficult to atmosphere, creating the right thing. It takes longer than I thought to find a space, something that would have been reflecting on. My skin started to quickly. There's something in this being watched. It's unsettling. Only stirs me in my search. When I open the light, there's a hiss.
I'll turn the lights down, woman!
There at the end of the hall is my beloved husband, with his face on one hand and the glass in another. Perhaps I can't let it go if it's only a glass of wine. However, I can feel myself go delirious after seeing the toxically liquid living mockingly in me.
Luke, what? Are you drinking absinthe? You know what the doctor said. Absinthe, Luke. Are you actively trying to kill yourself? Because if you are, we can just hit you with a bloody car.
Honeybee, Buttercup, not too loud, please. Besides, it's Lelouch, not too strong. Just hair of the dog that bit me. Helps with the hangover, dearest.
You drank? When?
This morning, love. Don't be mad. I just needed a few drinks, having to deal with those simpletons. And maybe I had one too much. You don't see me whinging about you leaving me to handle them on my own.
I had to attend the photo shoot and interview with Luxury Living. You know that. Let's not make this about me, Luke. This is about you and your drinking problem and...
Oh, I don't know, Hannah, darling. What if my drinking problem, as you like to call it, is linked to you? If we think about it that way, this discussion is about you. That was pretty mean of you, leaving me alone to do all the work like that. You can't use the interview as an excuse either, honey. I was informed the moment your little interview was done. So, what was it then, What were you doing?
Okay. It's good. I was pretending I didn't know on this. You know, lying is much better because it's just, lying is sometimes good, sometimes not. But this sounds good because it's your question. You don't want to be kind, and then the last time Luke saw actually become why is the nigger here, right? Like, yeah.
I was just tending to the garden, sweetie.
You were?
For a moment, he looks skeptical. I could tell by his eyes any way of setting an intention. He thinks I'm dying, but I see no point in putting up Zachary with him. I did tend to calm down a little bit. It's not completely is it like going up? I think it's going up. My God, wow, look at that. Wow. Just a little bit while it is. I know just how to please him. Sounds like he's making off the grill around, and I place my finger on his shoulder. He left it a little bit more, it's not like butter as a massage shoulder.
I had to make sure they didn't ruin your favorite daffodils.
Oh, that is wonderful.
I'm not sure if he means he must have stopped, but I will take it. It's better than I fight.
So, absinthe.
Just one glass, moosh.
I suppose I can let this one go. A bit too late anyway, you've already drank half the thing. But remember your doctor's orders.
Yes, I'll try to drink less.
Try.
Hey, I'm only human. Do you want one?
No, thank you.
Robert spends nothing as intentional a great piece that is unusual anyway, but most likely due to complaining of stress. A plate of nails stardust drenched in October with a purple cloud of rocky lime Casper and on these also names. To finish it all off with black tea and a golden soap, punch pudding and custards. When the appetite is placed, when the plates are cleaned away, Luke stands his good night and leaves me to stare at my half-empty cup. Lonely and nights I sit in the house, too big and too empty, for aging and unwelcome. Even with its warm tone and homely decor, it feels cold. There is no need to tear, however. I know I can get through this like every other obstacle I can face before. There's a minor setback in what I hope to be will be long and happily live. To remind myself that this place is for Luke, the other future children, fills in my renewed living room. This side looks like someone is having a cry already. The railing is far away and muffled, yet at the same time it shakes me to my very core as I hear it. That's it. If there's someone just standing right beside me, giving the sense chill down my spine and making my prickles with goosebumps. For some reason the stream always craps off. I don't know. Sorry. ... Who is that? Here is sinking in as I follow the soaring sound like sound into the kitchen. And it's into the wine cellar hatch. I got a bad feeling about this. You know, I got a bad feeling that this ain't good. You know?
Hello? Is anybody down there?
I'm curious and concerned, but there's no other way. I'm going down into a dark and humorless underground. I'm not as like as Luke, who considers himself quite concerned. However, I cannot bring myself up to go to bed with this racket going on. If it is one of the household help, they will surely need someone to talking. After all, this wouldn't be the first time I've gone and found one of the maids sobbing their eyes out over one thing or another. As professional as the staff are, they are still human. More often than not, it was either Jordan or I who helped calm them down, who helped them figure out how to go through about things. Unfortunately, I'm not the high spirit right now, so I'm not the Wally Beloved. So I will, you know, personally, I have a feeling that the scary ghost lady comes if I open that hatch. But it is very, very unfriendly and unprofessional to just call them out. But I feel my own safety is better than that. Wait, can you see what's the... You cannot. They see it on. They show it off later on purpose. I knocked 3 times. For any sort of reply yielding no result, I've already touched the floor hatches far too many times. I take a deep breath before reaching out against whoever's inside. I've leaned from my expression that people respond better to kindness than threatening. Shouting angrily would not help to exalt out there.
You, in the cellar? Do come out. We don't want Luke waking up and finding you in there, do we? That man would go ballistic thinking someone was trying to steal his precious wine.
Still nothing.
You can have a good cry. Just not in there, yes? Why don't you come out here and we can have a cuppa and you can tell me all about whatever it is you're bawling about?
With how long I'm standing here, however, I'm starting to think myself as a fool. I did not want to acknowledge the other feeling I have, especially as the wailing took an eerie turn. The dough of being played with didn't sit too well with me, and I had to stop myself from getting too heated head. Trying one more time.
Now you come out of there! That is an order from the lady of the house, do you hear me? Why, I ought to...
A freeze as the hand claps down on my shoulder. The dread I've been feeling all this time makes myself known as I kneel unmoving, not even daring to breathe. I can feel my heart pounding against my chest, but the touch is gone as quickly as I seize me. It is only Jonas I see when I'm looking.
Apologies, madam, for touching you like that. You were not responding to my voice, and you looked about ready to wake the whole mansion up.
I was... I'm sorry. I was getting rather loud, wasn't I? But that crying woman in there, we must do something about her.
He grows silent for a moment and just looks concerned. At least it looks input a concern giving a story our heads. Butler usually is. Or rather, it must have been a concern, as he taken off a glove and presses the back of his hand on my forehead before he was in...
I beg your pardon. What crying woman? Are you feeling well, madam?
In the cellar. Can't you hear her?
Madam, Hannah, no one is down there.
What?
The cellar is locked. Only Luke and I have duplicates of the keys.
What? Whoa, wait. Why is there an option of opening that if only Jonathan's and Luke have a copy.
Nobody is down there.
I stared at him in disbelief, and I listened one more. I hear no crying. Fogging at the hatch for good measure proof he was true too. The thing won't budge unless it had a key, sort of using a power tool in it.
Perhaps it is time for you to go to bed, madam. You are simply tired and hearing things, a perfectly normal human experience. But if you are still experiencing auditory hallucinations in the morning, you are free to consult with me.
There's a cold feeling in the pit of my stomach as I help me up to my feet. What he says makes sense, and who I am to the question someone who used to be a doctor. I'm just tired. That's it. Long day after moving, the interview, dealing with Luke. That has all drained me up for any purpose since.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I just need some sleep, that's all.
Of course I'm right. Go on then. Gute Nacht.
Gute Nacht. Gute Nacht. It sounds a bit Gute Nacht. That sounds more Dutch than French. With Gude sounds more like French, but Nacht sounds more like a Dutch noise or sound or voice. Gute Nacht.
Good night, Johannes. Good night, house.
It's just fateful. That's what I keep telling myself, although I can't ignore the strange feeling in my guts. Either there's something wrong in this house, or there is something wrong in my head. Dot. Sleep will be an loosely tonight. Friday. Luke's already gone by the time I rise. There isn't a single hide or near head of him found, and trying to call him small but he's busty. It only goes straight to his voicemail. There are twice in a row he's calling on me. For him to disappear today, of all days, it's every bit of upsetting because of what's to come. The morning once again filled with varying activity. Fortunately, I made much more refreshment as we well took a break from responsibility. I haven't a vaging clue where Luke was yesterday. Today is going to be a busy day. Although unlikely Wednesday, the master of the house isn't here right now, absent once again from his duties. Hopefully, he will be back in the time of the party. This is our house after all. A grand housewarming party is a wonderful white mansion. Every person of importance from Luxembourg is invited, and there will be a few guests flying in as well. Of course, there are some people from the media, along with friends and acquaintances who made no less important regardless of their stature in society. Marianne and I discussed business and last-minute touches to the house before finalizing everything. Not that there is much change for our original plans. Bar and huge additions to the property itself, the mansion is nearly 100% complete.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
Well, I can't take all the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the Wright mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Luke and I had a small stiff about making the second bedroom into a child's playroom, with access to completely practical. In the end, he acquainted and didn't give him any choice in the matter. I even bought this wonderful wooden crib from the antique store yesterday, including some toys. Just in case anyone brings their baby, of course. Besides, we have a little need for actual guest rooms. We hardly have guests who spend the nights. We absolutely have to. We often used to foot at the bill for their visits in one of our hostels instead. Always Luke's insistation. And on the off chance that we actually let someone stay, the bedroom in the opposite wing is still up for task.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
No, I didn't agree to him having a helipad. Of course you didn't, because why would you need a helipad?
Alright then. Well, do we have any other concerns? Anything we need to put on our agenda before the party commences?
No, I don't think so. Not unless Luke has anything else to say.
Is he around then? It'd be best if we can note down his request right away, considering the scope of his usual ones.
Around? No. Where is he? Who knows where? I don't.
No, he's not around.
She didn't even have to point out the obvious now, did she? After 7 long years, I've already gotten used to him. I should be by now. Still not apparently.
But don't you have a party?
I want nothing more than a complaint to wing about how unfair this is. However, airing out one's dirty laundry is simply a taboo among high society. To do so, willing to make you a rip target to the next dinner party, chit-chats. Volunteers, there are lots of them, really. Or most of them, at least. There are really always good ones, like Rochelle Lee. But put your trust in the wrong person, and you will find yourself eagerly prickled apart.
Yes, but Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting, he's having marital problems, and he's just trying to cheer him up.
Perhaps I'm being a bit too rash and a bit too hot-headed in devolving details, but I thought myself clever with a plan to dress it up as a disco. Marianne raises a brow, making me unsure whether she's interested or not. Although that does make things better if she has no interest and therefore has no hidden intel to utilize whenever I say to her.
They've been married for a long time and they've hit how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband. But it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark. What do you think?
You were asking for my personal opinion on the matter, ma'am? Do you want me to be honest, or...
I don't know. I personally also would say I don't know. I feel like I don't know. To be honest with me, I think that's better.
Be honest with me, Marianne. I don't need someone to sugarcoat it. I'm not some fragile thing that I'm just going to break down at the slightest thing.
She will never answer my question. I suppose I shouldn't blame her putting her on a tight spot like this. Her hesitation is understandable, though I literally admire it. She simply wants this whole thing to stay professional. And then she speaks.
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you, Mr. Wright, isn't it?
It turns my hesitation now. I really don't expect such a straightforward question. And to get it from heart of their matter, I suppose there's not as clever to think to. Or is it really that bad of an outsider to see our little martial trifles? Surely we can be obvious, aren't we? We have put up an act as a perfect couple for years, although it hasn't always been an act. Mary Jane is just more keeping an average person, of course. It's next to her career, and she's been working so closely with us. Yes, that's it.
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then, I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle. But if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Someone who won't even give him the time of the day. Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone. That's just my 2 pence worth, of course.
So you're saying they should divorce?
Nothing as drastic as that. If they're afraid that it might lead to just that, then maybe that is what's meant to happen in the first place. We shouldn't let our fear control our lives. But it's just a short hiatus is all. Or, couples therapy? Look, I'm really not the best person to ask about relationships. So grain of salt and all that.
She trails off, having said her piece and leaving nothing but a smell of coffee, between us. There's a calm despite of nature, what has just been discussed. To say that her words make me start to think it's an understatement. To say that I'm not considering her advice is a lie. And to say that it might just be a calm before the storm is possibility. Other have been short marriage, yes, but plenty have celebrated long and happy ones as well. My own parents celebrated their own 0th anniversary before they passed away. But 7 years? 7 years isn't a whole lot for a grand scheme of things. It isn't the whole time to see what and where our relationship can bring us. And at the same time, 7 years. Well, isn't it entirely made up of unhappy years, has it? It won't last forever. It's not supposed to, anyway. It's just dread that the thoughts that I might be the last of a very long time. I dread the dough and those small spots, those little disagreements will turn to an all-out resentment. The idea that we will grow up to hate each other than every fiber of our being scared of me. I can't even pinpoint the exact moment when our blissful onion turns sour. We can go through this, right? I know that we can still love him, and I can feel that there is still part of him who loves me in return. We just need to get our heads together and talk it out. Surely, he will see some sense. There's a cough before Mary Jane clears her throat. I must have been quiet for so long, and I must apologize when she's standing up. We both end up on our feet, unsure how to proceed. Some are sort of awkward of course, as we decide whether to sit back down or not.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party? Oh, you really must, Marianne.
I'll try to stay and chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least. If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
We'll see. So, if I can be excused?
Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive. Because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
The scene outside the parlor is great. Recognized mess. Aside from our own household help, we hired the service of temp agents, which besides staff of the right enterprise in the hospitality sector. Even our own very skilled staff cannot undertake a party of this side on their own. Waiters, busboys, hostess and their staff capacity move about in the drover carrying croquettes to goods for several dozen people and then some. Chef and bottom tills after Jonathan looks like scared little children as they escort them through the kitchen and into the wine cellar. To pursue the stock to select when they can be served at the party and when they can use for cooking.
Schnell! We have a lot to do, and I believe we did not hire snails. Snails are for the dishes.
The steering quit reads up the play with an even tune, their instrument as they fill the air with illing chatter. Wait, how far are we? Oh, but not that far anymore. Okay, I think I am gonna end the stream once we beat it in Hana, because I feel like if we're gonna do a fourth, and then like literally includes Zachary's chapter also. It kind of is weird, so I will just finish this one today. It depends really if it's going to be a long route or the shorter routes. It depends. Seeing that there are 3 options, and all of them do lead, except for one, if I could see, leads to one ending. So meaning probably the one that goes to nowhere is a death or a game over for a quick time event. And the rest is just to continue the story. But I feel like these 2 are just easy ways to get out, and these is like a longer extended version or something. It depends, really. We'll see, we'll see. An ice sculpture of a reindeer's blood, and carefully by a pear. It's followed by a simple cake, just a 5-tier with white kiflin, one with the white chocolate mouses, fresh berries, and a light dusking of edible gold leaves. But despite the fact that I told Marianne will be attending of all of them this find, I found myself unable to focus or care of any of it. I still have a discussion to run over in my mind, and looking at it, at all of this, I only see Luke everywhere. There are grand things that Luke wanted to have in a party. I've always wanted a small event, a simple gathering with only a select few invited, namely the people I would actually trust and enter my home. I didn't want any bloody politicians and partisans in other here, no matter how used I am to catering them.
At least be here for your party. Damn it, Luke.
Then the entire thing screams Luke writes, and I can't help but add another question to grow in the list, of course. When did I lose myself? It's always been him nowadays, isn't it? What about Hannah writes? What about Hannah Evans? I used to be my own woman who made her own name, her own career, and her own decisions. Surely I was already the social butterfly that I am today, but it wasn't all empty, swallow gisping and sitting pretty. I wasn't able to lodge from my acknowledgement and talents. Finance manager wasn't just handed to me just because my father owned the company. I had insisted that I start at the bottom so I could work on my way to top and prove myself, and I did. A working number manager, badges, money and accounts, analyzing to compete the market trends, and therefore calculating of financial risks, cost reducement, opportunity, editorial, listing and public relations, supervisor of staff, and, well, I generally have a huge sled of responsibility. Typically, I was already quite the attendance-seeking, even back then, having decided most of my youth carving out of my parents' approval. Following then, I turned into other, looking at from praise from anyone who was giving it, however feeling it like it was. And Luke, oh Luke, the way he looks at me, the way he watches me and takes a genius interest. He had me disguisedly obsessed since the day one, hasn't he? He saw me for me. Hannah Evans, with both my faults and my achievements. The man didn't treat me like some damsel in distress or some prize to be won. I remember the night before we were married. We were talking about everything and anything. For big things like business, society, and physically like to the little things. So as we had breakfast or whenever we have the cats and dogs more. We both prefer dogs. Nowadays, I'm just Luke Wright's wife. It's mostly my fault, isn't it? They told me that the husband prefers wives who are agile and sub-Nordic. I don't know what that means. A woman who always there for him, yet would never outshine him in aspects except beauty. A wife needs to be at home and attend to needs, to have children and take care of them in absence. They said I have to be no business working anymore after I was married. I blame society. Joke be like, welcome to society! Oh wait, you're not anymore. Damn it. Joker would be actually sad if, you know, that would happen. But I listened. Before I can fall further into a pit of self-loathation, someone called me out from
The guests have arrived, madam.
And Luke?
Running a bit late, I'm afraid.
Luke always been being late. What is with him?
Late for his own party. That man, I swear. He's probably looking to make a dramatic entrance, knowing him. Open the doors, then. We mustn't tarry.
Cars line up the driveway, peppering the front of the mansion with vehicles of every kind. Gran Turismo supercars and even all-out high-end muscular car or two. Convertible Grand Saloon and other luxury cars I could see be parked by the Babel. Handful of the cabs drive off, possibly those who thought it's too troublesome to bring their own cars. There are at least 2 different media vans as well. They're all here for the maybe considered to be biggest event of the year for Luxembourg so far. Who knows what he will plan the winter holiday.
Welcome, welcome everyone. Please, make yourselves at home.
Some of the guests idolize and enjoy the warm, it's not strange sunshine we are expecting before gloomy sky returns. They greet essentially as a friend with a warmly smile. I don't know this. From where I stand, I can see a heart of a power, the ties that bind those infinite, whether though convincing or military. However, there are a few who are not here to cement their current place in high society, such as the young man with the oriental hair, agony of the look he receives from the woman and men alike.
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
Or the rose-haired woman talking on her phone while she looks unsure why she's here exactly.
Yes, I'm at the party already, Mom. Yes, I'll say hi to her if I can.
I see Zachary, the photographer, as well. He talks to a few other media crew with airing of similarity.
I was just here a few days ago, yeah. And the inside is huge, but the staff are pretty helpful if you get lost.
There's the people like Chief Inspector, people I cannot sure to be sure about, people who stand out the border between being suspicious and being...
Husband still missing, I see.
I should be saying the same of your darling Rochelle, Lee. The doctors again?
She told me she'll just be in the gardens. Bet she's lying and that she's somewhere around mingling, gossiping with the other ladies. No offence, but that seems to be all you ladies do at these parties.
And aren't you gossiping right now?
Yes, well, what about Luke? Should we file a missing persons report now, or is he always wait 24 hours?
He's around.
You know, I can tell if someone's bluffing. Don't tell me, let me guess. He's finally drunken himself to death and not wanting a scandal. You've hidden his body. I was wanting to give this housewarming gift to him personally, too. It's a plate that holds a wine glass so he can stop killing himself with liquid lunches. Looks like it's too late for that.
Nothing like that. Besides, this is a hardly polite conversation.
Oh, relax. I'm just trying to be cheeky to lighten the mood. It's not like I want Luke dead. The man doesn't serve dodgy plum like the others when I visit, and he pays his respects well enough. I could use a glass of wine or 3, actually. Michelle's been in a horrid mood. Not sure if this is how it usually goes, but I blame the pregnancy.
I wouldn't know, would I?
Still no plans for a baby. I guess if it's best. If it's best now, I can't even imagine how bad it'll be when that little baby bump becomes huge.
I've mentioned how I don't trust him, no matter how try hard to do so. Or at least he brought a gift as
Why don't you just go inside and have some wine, Lee?
I think I will, thanks.
Breathing such thick air on the casket tends to trickle in. Whether they have a short conversation or merely shake their hands and nods and heads heads. I make sure to attend and welcome each of them. As a 4 hour pass by, the rest of the stragglers and I adjourn to the bellroom. Any latecomers with intended of the porter instead, I have other duties to attend now. Hosting parties is always the same old song and dance, no matter how big or small it is. You make sure your guests are well fed and have good companies and have their family enjoy themselves. Now we'll go split into 4 parts. Chance. Ooh, that's nice. I don't like it if you choose. So when my opening remarks are done, and the band has started to play and the guests have started eating, we find ourselves wandering around innocent and less on all sides. For a while I stand with a smaller group entertaining them before excusing myself. And there's not anyone watching me, I am watching them. When they don't listen, I do. A local banker is having trouble with his daughter. He wishes to marry her off, but she wants nothing more but to make music. One has a hotel manager worried about being a stolen belonging of one of the patrons falling to security, which should be brought up to a higher authority now soon. And there, oh, his cat died. There's the room once again. Looks. She also lacks the grace of the other ladies who have thus make not less beautiful. Her stand of her air, she excused instead of her strong, and it made her stand out despite her usual attire. Many men have already given her an attempt, though each invitation to the dance had been turned down. I approach into it, although it's not great mystery with her own attention. The glance she keeps singing towards the boys and footing in her hair. She remains unaware, though, even if I stand beside her, pretending that I'm there for a joke.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Oh, you're fine, dearie. It's only really the parvenus, those who climb, that come to these parties all dolled up. Quite the black-haired beauty, isn't he?
He merely passes by and he just wonders he doesn't hear what I say.
Who, Ash?
You know, you really shouldn't have turned down those offers. If I wasn't married, I'd happily go dancing with those young men. But you said a name. Ash. That's the exquisite lad you've been looking at all this time. I don't know him, and I'm the one hosting this party. That must mean you know each other. Is he your boyfriend, then? Because that would explain those rejections.
In all of my life, I've never seen the face glowing red so fast. The shade of her hair did not help as well. It's most pink I've seen in person.
What? No, that's ridiculous. He isn't my boyfriend.
Such a violent reaction. A simple no would have sufficed. Many here would be happy to hear it.
And I haven't been looking at him.
That's right. You've been staring. Quite heatedly, in fact. Although I'm not sure if you look like you want to kiss him or kill him.
It's more the latter, currently.
Just don't go murdering him on my property. I don't want to walk into a room and suddenly find a body there.
However, I feel a burning of someone's stares. It's chilling, and though I thought I'm used to endure their gaze, the other this makes my hair back from the next time up. Hello. Hi. I attend this call from the girl, seeing the woman staring in the dark, dirty. She looks at me like a beggar than a guest, and I have a half of the mind to call the security at her, and her mouth breaks out of the grin. I hear her laughing, taunting. Her stare makes my blood run cold. She looks at me like I'm nothing but a pig to slaughter for her amusement. It makes my hands shake and nearly drop my drink. but there's nothing like being she's gone. The boss of the party returns.
I'll keep that in mind, but... Are you alright?
Yes, sorry. I just thought I saw something strange. It must be the trick of the light. Anyway, on a right, as you must already know.
Rebecca Gales.
Gales.
The name is familiar. Like a family name. I got a cheap one, please. I recall that kind lady, a private torture who treated me like her own daughter when I was young. She would bring me food whenever I needed to do so, usually stolen, which I honestly hasn't been kept keen about, though I ate most nonetheless because she brought it them for me.
Oh, the professor! And your little Becky!
My parents couldn't make it since they're in Scotland right now. And Mom says hi, by the way. But yeah, that's me. Little Becky. We met once before.
Yes, oh, I remember you! You were the cutest little thing with glasses!
Glasses.
And when we met, you were having boy troubles with this lad called something with an A. What was it again? Aaron, Alan, Adele, Albert, Alexander, Andrew?
The more of the list of names, the more red and more quiet Becky gets. She stares to look a bit mispered as her body language shows discomfort and stiffness. Perhaps I've triggered a hoarded childhood memory. Surely I haven't been keen when she visited with her married mother. I don't remember it at all.
Ashton! Ash! That man is that boy! The same one. Oh, goodness me, after all these years! I can see why, though. He's quite dashing.
You don't really need to announce it to everyone with an earshot, you know? Keep it down.
I'm so sorry, but it really is cute.
And a tad bit sad.
This is a nice party, Miss Wright.
Please, Anna's fine. We're friends of a sort, aren't we? We must be friends, seeing as I know about your little infatuation, Becky. Don't you worry, dearie. You'll have your happy ending yet.
I'm not too concerned about that, am I? That's not what I'm looking for.
Oh? And what makes you think that? Doesn't everybody want their happy ending?
The idea of happy endings sounds like they're just for fairy tales. And they are, sorta. I don't think you can just sit around, trapped in some tower and hope for the best. If you love them, you have to fight for it, right? You're not just going to sit there and hope that everything will just fix itself on its own. Like everything, you have to work at it. But what do I know?
There's a crimson, although she stares to relax around my questions. How long has it been since we met as children? A long time. She was tiny back then.
I'm sure the daughter of the two greatest professors I've ever known is smart enough to know what she's talking about. But have you told him how you feel? And it's been what? 20 years?
17, actually. But no, not yet. He can be a bit dense. I was hoping that maybe he'd notice on his own and...
Well, that won't do. What if you two become husband and wife? He's not to be dense when he's sworn himself to another person. Why, you might just as well consider leaving before the day's even begun.
If that happens, I'll have to give him a good ear bashing, won't I? Whoever anyone ends up with, it's not going to be a perfect relationship anyway. There's going to be things you'll love and things you'll hate about the other person. We're just humans. It's funny. Here I am, trying to give you advice when you did the very same thing back then. I remember you giving me a makeover when we were still kids. And you were the first I told anyone about my... crush.
I do remember now. She was mentioning it. I did give her a yellow summer dress with the pink blush. petticoats. She must have kept some of what I said in mind. I feel ridiculous remembering all those years talking about boys and how they go crazy for pretty girls, and they some gospel every woman should be a dear. It was so easy to say such thing than with me not knowing any better. Though looking at her, she must have kept some of what I said on mind. Perhaps I did say something good at times, enough for her to take it to her heart. And all of a sudden that didn't matter in the moment, as I know what she just said in her mind. What Becky told me is very different from Mary Jane told me. There is no time to pound over to whoever as the hush descends upon the lively crowds. The music of string and the chatter slowly to the grin halts as the door opens from the foyer opens. The last of the latecomer should be arriving any moment, and anyone else that would be late would be simply too embarrassed to show their face. So this can be only one person, or rather one man, called Luke. There's only one man who is audacious enough to arrive at his own party so late.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party? I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the right mansion.
Who was raised in the spotlight and simply grew to used to present himself over every chance he could, even when there was no spotlight that shone. Never put it again in when he smiled like that. He did so really brilliant under his skirt when he channels his showmanship. You can tell by the way people's eyes around him as he speaks, how they listen and appreciate, and even all he's doing is simply greeting. A little wave at here, a little smile there, swagger. How else tell that? And if it's not to be a businessman, he'll do well as an entertainer. I love this side of him, especially when he looks at me. He beckons me over to humbly share his place. Not a single second is wasted as I soothe myself from Becky's side and I make my way to Luke's.
Welcome one and all to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are our ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen, if you would excuse my presumptuousness. So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses as we only allowed the best to be served. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone!
Wait, only 4% done. 4%? What the frick? Pause, cheers to everyone's hoots. Guests approach us left and right, shaking Luke's hand and greeting him personally, praising on their lips. It is because of that I do not see her until she daintily comes close with fur in her eyes. She is already spitting venom. Jonathan stands her taking care of not the unnecessary harm to the pregnant woman. But that does little later of her rage, and the man has no choice but to let her go as the unborn child is hers. Although it might be too late for that, as I see an unfilled glass of wine in her hands. How much has she indulged in?
Are you feeling ill, Rochelle? Perhaps you need to sit down and...
No! Shut it, you monster! I ain't talking to you! I'm talking to this scumbag over here! You bloody bastard standing there with your smarmy smile!
She interrupts me, jabbing her finger in my direction before she rounds on Luke. Even as a whisper and mumble breaks out amongst the guests, all I can focus on is the heat of the moment. Obviously innoxious, judging by the smell of alcohol on her breath. I'm not ticked off by the little display of hers, at least not yet. But I am absolutely pissed by the fact she endangered her own baby by drinking. There's an unconsiderable amount of restraint and range that I must exercise while I wait for the tumbler to into substance. I keep patient with tight smiles on my face. Lucas' pressure on my hand is indescribable.
Watch your tongue! You're on thin ice, Rochelle. Where's your husband? Who even invited you?
I did.
And I told you with great emphasis not to. Now we have a drunk, hormonal, pregnant woman causing a stir. What is even going on?
I'm just about to ask the exact same thing.
I don't know. But Rochelle, do calm down before you hurt yourself. I can't understand a word you're saying.
Where is that husband of yours? Lee! Collect your wife right now!
Don't you fucking talk like I'm not here and you're not responsible, you ass! You told me that I should wait for you in the gardens!
Excuse me? What is this nonsense you're going on about?
Crazy talk! That's all it is! Just completely and utterly mad! Has anyone seen the Chief Inspector?
I am pregnant with your little bastard. You promised me you'll take responsibility. God damn it, Luke. I finally got you to talk to me after months of silence, and you do this to me.
What?
What do you mean you're pregnant with? Luke, is this true?
Lies and slander, woman! Security! Johans, take her out of here before she makes an even bigger fool of herself!
No, you do not do this to me. I was so ready to leave my stupid oaf of a husband. I told you to leave that damn wife of yours. Look at her. Does she look like she wants a baby? Does she look like she could take care of a baby?
Now, John returns with security along with a concerned looking Officer Lee. The surrounding of her moves to escort the hysterical woman. Judging by his pale face, he heard the whole thing and felt nothing but pity of the man.
I'm so sorry for her behaviour. She's been under a lot of stress and the alcohol.
Oh. Okay, so I got what? Oh, this oh, no. We're taking the long routes. What the frick? The long routes? No, what do you mean? I don't know. What is gonna happen? I mean, like, you have 1, 2, 3 choices or 2. Oh god, no.
Talking nonsense, that's all it is. You're not allowed to drink because of the baby, Shelley. What are you thinking?
Nothing to see here, people. Move along.
There's really nothing here but a rambling of drunk. Yes, that's right. There are no other way that Rochelle says is the truth. What she says doesn't match up. I know Luke. If a scandal meets her arrangement, he won't do it in such exposing place, especially not near his precious flower. Wait, okay, it's necessary to do that, so okay. He definitely won't promise responsibility over a child unless it can be helped. Besides, Luke will never. He will never go so far as to sleep with a number woman, right? ... Give me a minute. How late is it actually, by the way? Wow, it's already 10 o'clock. It's already 10 in the night. I'm hoping that I can soon finish this because I'm not leaving it alone like this. It's getting intense, boys. Okay, fine. Who am I kidding? If I'm just completely honest by myself, he might cheat. With a bit of temper and a bit of alcohol, he just might. But, Hannah, didn't you do the same to Zachary to go flirty on him? Isn't that considered to be also cheating? So, doesn't mean that the three of you are cheating, right? And it doesn't just make my blood boil to even think of the slight possibilities of indefinability. Lee isn't too far off when he told me how Luke still acts like some young hostile bachelor. Ooh. started to make me think. Perhaps a break is needed. I need to work for my happy ending. This is a hard decision. You know, maybe going, like, divorcing is a good idea, but maybe working on a happy ending. I feel this is a difficulty. Like, this is like the things like you would imagine from a real visual novel. Like, what would you choose? It's like a hard decision. It's so impossible. You want both, but it's not possible. I'm gonna choose perhaps a break needed. Maybe Jaren has a point. If I'm frustrated, if I'm unhappy, maybe break is needed. Some time apart might be just what the doctor ordered. The doctor is in. Okay, time to part, clear our heads and think ourselves, or for myself to be exact. Because looking at this mess before me just bringing me nothing but distress. I feel a bit nauseated actually now that I think about it. Luke too busy making a scene to notice, and concerned Belle pokes me to the sides. She looks at the servant as I may suddenly... Oh, Luke went down. Ooh, choosh. At the servant as I may be sudden turn of events. Probably not a big fan of drama. Definitely not used to it at any rate. Not surprised, as her parents were lovely, yet some people...
Hey! I figured you could use the save. You looked like you weren't doing too hot back there. Do we need to call a doctor or something?
Oh no, I'll just be needing some fresh air, that's all. Some help getting out of here would be much appreciated.
Sure, that won't be a problem. I wanted to get away from this drama too anyway. Just... Hey, Zachary! Hey, Zach!
At a moment of his name, I can't help but him out of the crowd to make his way over. They know each other.
Becca! This is a real oh, hey, Miss Wright.
If I'm to assign a random number to this into odd of having two of my acquaintances know each other, I'll see the odd one out of the thousands, and if this is any other situation, I would have been suspicious. It isn't completely impossible to have two random strangers who have a separate occasion to know each other in what will be completely random occasion. It's just that it's been faked before, trying to dupe me because of who I am and who I'm married to. But right now, coincident or not, I'm grateful for the help, as long as this doesn't turn out for a kidnapping anyway.
Hello, Zachary. I told you to call me Hannah. Did I not?
Yeah, you did. So, this is what you called me for. We gonna get Hannah out of here?
I can see that they're friends. Not terribly close ones, but friends nonetheless.
That'd be great.
Work of getting through the crowd. People getting part of Zachary Broad building, even if they want to approach me. If there isn't enough, Becky pointedly glares, keep them at bay. We even make out the ballroom without an untoward incident. Though the judgment of component in another room, the same cannot be said about the unexpected evidence. I really do need a fresh air. I need to be away from this nosy Parker. I need to be away from the Luke. It's a great start as any...
Hey, I gotta go back in there. Completely forgot my bag like an airhead, and I'll see if I can tag Ash on the way out. You'll be fine here, right, Hannah?
Not to worry, dearie. I'll just be right here.
Zach will be with you if you need anything.
Wait, what? Oh, went to this, so we have the extra dialogue, goddammit. Bolts out of there and going back into the ballroom. Anyone who hasn't yet have realized I'm gone by now. Those busy body will be gossiping about how I left the building with two unknowns, along with the transparent story about ink actually made up will spread by the night ends. It's all matter very little in grand scheme of things, of course. It won't even bother to try to equal them by returning to the fray. It leaves me with...
Zachary?
Yeah, you need something?
I was only going to say how nice it is to see you again.
Oh, okay.
see the tension of the line of his shoulders. Odd how awkward he is in the first meeting. He made me a professional term currently, but it looks like thinking it was friendly. Nonetheless, I did not push the issue about the errands this form. He was left alone. Not right away, at any rate. I know my curiosity will get better of me soon. Before I can say anything, however, he speaks up.
You okay there, Hana? I mean, of course you're not okay after what happened in there. I mean, that was terrible. But you're not gonna just fall down and faint or anything, right?
I'm fine. Thank you for your concern.
A beat.
I should be asking you the same thing. I remember you being a lot more eloquent.
Oh yeah, I'm just not too good with staying too long in a crowded room. Or handling intense drama, you know. Sorry about my clothes. Didn't think there'd be a dress code. Not that I have anything that nice to wear to a shindig like this. I dig nice, small, simple parties, so this is a real doozy for me.
And do you host your own nice, small, and simple parties often?
Only when there's occasion, birthdays and stuff. Those are a lot more fun for me, and I can be a lot more selective about letting only the people I'm cool with attend, right? I get to pick the food, too. Of course, I make most of them myself. There's usually a dozen people or less, and all we really do is just hang out. Maybe do some grilling, karaoke, dancing, you know, the usual.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. You sure you're alright? You aren't exactly being eloquent yourself, as you put it. You must have something you want to get off your chest.
I don't know, Zachary. What am I supposed to say?
You can scream Meld if you want. I won't snitch.
You want to know what I think? How I feel? I think my friend may have slept with my husband. At least, I'm pretty sure she isn't pregnant with his baby, which isn't much now, is it? My husband is a selfish, pretentious, bloody sack of shite, and you know what? I don't give a flying fuck anymore! My God!
Well, that ain't good. Not giving a crap won't make the problem go away.
I'm going to ask him for a break, Zachary. I'm not going to pretend that there isn't a problem, but I just need to step back.
Fair enough. As long as you don't just up and disappear on him, I suppose.
Yes. Now can we please stop talking about him? Tell me more about your small, simple parties. Karaoke and dancing. How does that even go together?
Simple, really. We hope Ash doesn't take the mic, put on a bit of fun music, and just dance. Not that I can. But there ain't nothing complex about it.
You can't be that bad.
I'm pretty good with the twist. Or, that's what they tell me, at least. I think they're just being nice. I'm sure it just looks awkward.
Ooh, why does this game have so many difficult, decisions you could choose? Like, I feel like I don't want to make him, embarrassed or uncomfortable, but also not make him, feel disappointed. Cook. At least you can cook. At least you can cook. I feel like that's the best one.
At least you can cook. Allegedly. You still bring no proof.
This party ain't exactly a potluck, is it?
Oh, it didn't really increase anything.
True, true. Perhaps you can invite me to one of your simple parties. I will bring the cake.
Yeah, why not? But with a cake that big, like at your housewarming party, we'll be eating frosting for weeks. Maybe make it a little simpler and it's a deal.
Simple would be nice.
Saturday. At least the same can be said about those what to do. Simply, it isn't etchable how used to strive with the tasks at our hands. Besides, really, how does one tell their husband that they want to separate and just say no, this is not a divorce? Not yet, at least. The possibility is there, but still, how am I even to explain that to Luke without him throwing a fit? Cutting deeply into my sausage, I open my mouth to excuse myself. That is until I spy Luke mashing and steering his project with a fork like a pedophile child. He's been silent all the while, chin in his hands and elbow resting on the table. I worry about the absence after the Evelyn may have caused more harm than good.
Luke? I think we need a bit of a break. You know, some time apart.
At my word, he grown still and quiet. Or silent, sorry. I'm not quite sure whether I should be worried or not. I take it as my cue to keep talking.
It's not permanent or anything like that. Just for a while. In a few days, perhaps. I was thinking I can move back into our penthouse in the meantime. But I won't be moving out right away. So that I can help settle everything here. And I haven't even thought of packing yet. And I'll want to ask Johans to assign some of our staff. Unless you want the penthouse anyway. Then I'll stay here instead.
No, you take the penthouse. It'll be easier for you.
It isn't supposed to be this easy, is it? Can I really reach so aloof to it?
Isn't this to your liking? I imagine that you'd like the space and independence. You'll have the bed and covers to yourself, and you can have whatever you want prepared for meals. You can even have all the wine you want, though I'd rather that you don't.
This isn't about that, Hana. Well, it's partly that, but...
The man stopped playing with his food and choosing instead to push the plate aside.
What's wrong, Luke?
He slumps back in his chair, stopping short of putting his feet up on the table. I expect he wanted some wine or absinthe by now, but any sort of alcohol is suspiciously absurd in his hands.
Aside from that disaster yesterday and you telling me you want a divorce, everything is peachy keen. Will you want me to start on the letters then? To start the divorce settlements and whatnot? Will you be seeking ways to throw me out onto the street without a penny to my name?
No, Luke, this isn't a divorce. I just told you this is only temporary. Are you really having a sulk because of what she said yesterday?
I am having a sulk because you believe her. You stormed out and now you're asking for us to split up? Soon enough, you'll want to throw me out like I'm a piece of trash.
Do you think I would be this calm if I believed her, Lucille Mitchell Wright? Because believe me, if I did, well, it wouldn't be pretty. Besides, I know how you feel about children. It makes her whole statement laughable.
Sure, whatever you say.
His mouth drawn into a thin line, and I can't bring myself to comment on his half-hearted reply. To me, in silence, that almost feels oppressive. It only emphasized the wall as he'd been built up by the absence of his purpose. His own news between us, keeping us apart.
When are you leaving? In a week?
It won't take that long to pack. After All Saints, perhaps? I'll go and inform the staff of this.
He nods only. No, I will be lying if I said that this didn't disappoint me. I expect more resistance. The man could be as stubborn as a mule if they want to be. Perhaps I can leave now just to spite him, but that isn't like me. Even if this does end in a divorce, a thing we both surely wish to avoid. We cannot leave on an absolute term. There is no point in making a mound of a molehill.
What are you still doing here? Just leave. You still have some packing to do, don't you? Go ahead. I won't stop you.
Go ahead and do nothing. There isn't much to do, it seems, whenever I step out of the plate and take responsibility for something. Perhaps because everything is already handled by someone hired specifically for the job. And with Jonathan overseeing the staff and Luke handling everything else as a whole, that doesn't leave much for me. I can't even take a job of the night, well, because all of it, the words to one of the senior staff, and everything will be taken care of for me. Moving in here a few days ago may have been very well been the chore that took the most affair from me. And that didn't take a real effort at all.
Yes, Hana, go buy a mansion in the middle of nowhere. Good idea. Great plan.
There are no dishes to set aside and I'm busy myself, Arif. Any mess left behind is nearly non-existent. To sit on a counter while eating cake is supposed to be by my next plan. At last, there isn't even a finish off, and I don't really know what brought me to the kitchen in the first place. I'm gonna carving anything else, nor do I have an unfinished business left here. There's a calling of this room. Speaking of calling, why not do just that? Might as well, since I have nothing else to do. At least that will require some effort to my part. With how cut of the rest of the Luxembourg mansion is, and with how long it is abandoned before we moved in, having a landline is out of the question. The solution is supposed to be a mobiles, though it isn't much considered how spotty the signal is in the area. I'll take a bit of any effort to get every single bar as it is. ... Takes a bit, as I said it would. I have to park my rearing on one of the cold drawers, but that suits me just fine. Another matter that needs to be effort is who to call. She who must not be named is certainly off the list. That doesn't leave much in the category of close friends who attended the party, along with the category of who else is awake at early this morning. But soon enough I managed to call. The call goes through.
Hello, Rebecca Gales here. Who's this?
Good morning, Becky.
Hannah? Oh wait, how did you get my number?
You responded to your RSVP through the phone. It's all saved in here, of course. I thought I'd like to say hi and make plans and get together sometime. Also, I'd love to hear news about your mother and father and about you, my dear. Oh, I hope I didn't wake you up.
Oh, you're good. It's sports day at school today, so I was just prepping for that.
Figures that you'd be a teacher as well. I'm sure your students must absolutely adore you.
Don't know about that.
Mathematics?
History, actually. Anyway, it's real nice to know you've got my number. I was going to ask for yours because Mom wanted to keep in touch.
You could have asked, silly girl. I would have gladly given it to you.
Couldn't, though, because, well, the thing that happened. But really am sorry, though. I gotta run. School, schedule, stuff. Is there anything else you want to say? Don't want to use the mobile while driving?
Oh, of course, of course. I shouldn't keep you. But I wanted to thank you for your company yesterday.
Not a problem.
I was hoping you could thank Zachary on my behalf as well. He was really kind and wonderful.
Well, you can tell him that yourself if you want. I can give you his number.
Oh, no, I don't want to be a bother. Intruding on his privacy.
Pretty sure he'd be fine with it. If you two on a first-name basis and all. So, his number, right, it's...
Call starts to static, much of my frustration. I start clicking those drums beat at most of the words too. I can barely understand what she's saying. It completely dies. I can feel a headache coming along. It's just building up, starting from the lights stuttering on one side of my head. Oh, it's a random events. Oh! The static is gone. That helps a lot. But there is still an almost unhearable clicking. Again, and again, and again. Which doesn't make sense. The mobile turned off, isn't it? And if it's coming from the phone, then where? Looking about it, I can't help but get my hands drawn to the hatchet, lean into the mindset once more. That's when the clicking stops. Crying. Familiar crying from before. That happened the other day. I was told that nobody should be have down there. I tried to forget about it, how unsettling me is so. One can hardly do when I am looking at the very thing I'm trying to get. It is crying down there again. But if I leave it alone, it simply won't stop bothering me for the rest of the day. I might have forgotten to lock it. The party's going on.
This again! If somebody is pulling my leg, I will not be happy!
True enough, all it takes a bit's pull of the hatchet. I As I look down to the cellar, a sense of uneasy washed over me. Jeez, the sun. It isn't just a sudden onset of vertigo and nausea, but also the darkness. It's suffocating. As I look down, it feels looking back at me, where something in the stomach pulled me deep. It flies down beneath the string that starts echoing in my head, high and shrill like nails being dragged across the chalkboard. They're screaming, shouting at me. I just feel a rage. Help me. She wants to drown me, drag me down and crush me in the very depths of darkness until there is nothing left of me. Deep abyss waits for me, for my death. They're all calling for it. This is a nightmare. There's a rope around my neck and I can feel the rest of being torn apart. They're still screaming. I'm screaming. Thought of nothing investigating my lips. The cloud climbs up and forcing its way up the throat like a tongue. I chose a gag, yet I scream no at all times. I'm not, but I'm not here. Not here. Push me down to my knees before I'm proud and vulnerable under my stomach. It makes me stumble. I can just feel my whole body seizing right on the floor. Everything and nothing hurts. Feels like I'm the verge of death. And if I'm not dying, I nearly wish I actually am.
Hannah! Hannah, what is going on in here? Why are you?
Prince!
Look, something snapped back. Take a gasping of air. First time I felt in like centuries. I've been rejoiced and cried of his name. Pain still did not rack my body. Instead, Paul tirelessly come to side and lifting me up, carving me in his arms. He tried to get me on my feet, perhaps to take me out of here, but all of able to do is me sit, make sure I'm not trusting on the floor. I can still feel my muscles span, limbs jerking like a puppet on the string. Luke holds me tight and keeps me still, so that I do, not hurting myself anymore. Whatever is that happened, it has my mind feeling afraid and battered. Eventually the pain dies down into a dull ache, and my own tongue stops feeling like a colon. It's only now that I can feel the wetness of my cheeks, tears sneaking down my face. Cough racks my body, and I don't feel like cocking. Cocking? What? Feels so horrible, but I don't care. I don't care.
Please!
What happened here? Who did this to you?
I don't know. I am so sorry.
Shh, it's alright. You're safe now, Hannah. You're safe now.
Dot. Oh my. There's so many choices. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, that's interesting. So relationships actually cross over depending on what you did in earlier playthroughs. That's interesting. So meaning if Isabella went more with a Zachary friendship-wise, in Zachary's playthrough, that would also affect over. Interesting. Oh, now I'm excited. Wow. We've missed so much, I can tell. But okay, let me. But if you look at like, oh, we're 60%. Oh my god. You can see like so many different approaches. But oh, wait, ending free? Oh, there are free endings. Earlier or something. Depends, I think. Interesting. This could be interesting if we're gonna go replay it later on. I'm gonna be excited for Zachary's also, even if I look at it, the choices that are here is wow. Like the amount of content there is ridiculous compared to something like Isabel's one that's pretty grounded, even if there looks a lot. Same for Hans looks a little bit shorter compared to Zachary's being pretty long. I'm curious how long chapter 4, 5, 6, and 7 will be actually. Then we'll probably see that maybe Monday or something. I don't know. It depends really if I'm gonna do the Assassin's Creed, how long I'm gonna do that for the live stream. But yeah, that was live stream free for the letter. I hope you guys enjoyed it like usual. Be sure to smash like, subscribe, and be sure to tune in for more The Letter. Well, bye bye.